Okay, folks, here we are back in the kitchen. And what I'm going to do is take my crock pot, turn her on for the 8-hour setting. I already cleaned it earlier today. I'm going to take my chuck roast. I'm going to set it in there. I'm going to take that kosher salt that I talked about. Keep an eye on my fire. I'm going to sprinkle it liberally on my pot roast. I'm going to take a bay leaf. You can do that to your taste. I don't want a lot in there, but just a little bit of flavor. One leaf, pop it in there. Now what I do like more of is granulated garlic. So I'm going to put some of that in there. Nice liberal flow. And I do like my chopped dehydrated onions. So I'm going to put a chunk of that in there. Yeah, maybe a quarter cup or so. Now, of course, there's nothing better than cracked ground pepper. And I also apply that liberally. That's the only liberal I'm really in. There's a liberal application of spices and of sharing of knowledge. Okay, so I'm going to take some Crystal Springs distilled water. I'm hoping to get a reverse osmosis system set in here in the next couple of weeks, but it's been slow going. I got this house 9 months ago. It was an absolute disaster. There was a pool hall right here, a pool table right where my counter is. The kitchen was all over there. There was no dishwasher. There were like 7 people living here, and the yard was a parking lot, but it was, 6 feet in the back. I mean, literally 6 feet of weeds in the back. But slowly but surely, with diligent effort, I got it to this place right now. A few more improvements to come. Anyway, I'm going to fill just above the top of the roast. And like they say on that one television show, set it and forget it. We'll check back in. Oh gosh, it's gonna be late tonight, so it is at 7. So we'll probably have some of this for breakfast tomorrow, which is always a great thing. Pot roast with a couple of farm fresh eggs. Oh, and here's one other thing I wanted to show you. I mentioned the other day that I was taking steroids. The steroid is 7-keto DHEA that I bought on eBay. It was a great price. 100 milligrams, which is about right for a guy my age and my weight. 30 caps, I got like 6 bottles for $40 or $50, maybe less, I don't remember. But I've been taking it now for about a month, and I can feel the difference. More cognitively than physically. Because I think I've been pretty well tuned physically, but lately, I may have mentioned, I quit my job at the government, and now I am moving in a career of mortgage banking. I used to do that when I was a young man, and got bored, moved on to medicine for a decade, and then worked for the government for a while, bebopped around. I took several years off. I went to graduate school. I got a PhD. I did a lot of things. I'm not going to look back and say I wish I would have. But anyway, getting back into mortgage banking, and I've been testing my brain a lot. Since I've been in it till now, oh my God, has that field been regulated? It was a wild west back in the late 80s through the late 90s, early 2000s when I sold my company. It was absolutely bananas. And now you can't sneeze without disclosing it, which I like better. And quite honestly, I wish other industries were as regulated and as transparent as mortgage banking has now become. Because I think there'd be a lot less hanky-panky and a whole lot better use of our government, because these guys are doing a good job protecting consumers and staving off the wolves of Wall Street, and also making sure consumers get what they pay for. And it actually has opened up the market to allow for more people to qualify. So anyway, that's my little speech on that. All the learning has been facilitated by augmentation of DHEA, 7 keto variety, and always good nutrition helps and some exercise. So in a little bit, I'm gonna put out that fire out there, and then I'm gonna feed my chickens, and I'm gonna do a workout here tonight. And the reason I'm wearing full garb today is because I'm gonna be on my belly digging into the ground. Because what I wanna show you guys is functional fitness. We're gonna do a little bit more on those twists because I really want you to get that movement down, because that is imperative for just about everything in life. Just even standing up, you gotta be able to turn correctly. But if you're ever attacked, and God knows what's gonna happen in the future, you should be ready. Deflection of the energy by turning is always your safest bet. No matter how strong you are, if you can use that person's strength against them, then you're better off. So we're gonna work on that, and I'm gonna show you some other simple exercises that you can do that I've done with just stuff laying around the house. I mean, even an 8-pound water jug, okay? You drink the water, you fill it back up with tap water, costs you 3 cents. You've got 8 pounds, you can do curls, you can do lateral, you can do upright row. There's lots of things you can do with it. So it doesn't need to be expensive, but it does need to be consistent, okay? And you know, I know it's easy for you, Tim, you've been doing this since you were 13, 14, whatever. The answer is, every morning I get up and I'm like, maybe just 5 more minutes sleep. And then I think for a minute. I remember David Goggins, Marquis spoke of him before. And David Goggins goes, well, if I stay in bed, I'm gonna be just like everybody else. And that wakes him up. And consequently, that wakes me up. I say, you know what? I don't want to be average. You know, I've got so many other things that I've been fortunate to have, and I have so many faults. I don't want one of them to be that I'm lazy. So I get my ass up, I do my walk around my block. It's exactly 1/3 of a mile. I put on my vest or my pack, my ankle weights, carry my dumbbells, and that's my morning pre-coffee, pre-second cup. I usually have the first cup. And then begin the day, and I always am glad that I did it, okay? And you will too. You're gonna hate it at first, but discipline your way through that. There's a guy named Andy Frisella who has a program called 75 Hard. And it's, you know, if you're a physical person, the amount of work it is not all that much. And even if you're not, you're just beginning, it's not overwhelming. But what is the challenge of 75 Hard is doing it every single day. Rain, sunshine, snowstorm, blizzard, scorching hot. Get your butt out there and do that. And Andy's been doing this for, 10 years or so, and he reports 100% of the people that complete this feel a systemic change in who they are as a human being. Why? Well, of course, they're gonna get some physical benefit out of working out every day, but just the discipline that they've garnered from doing that every day, that this is what I'm doing, I'm gonna do it. I don't care if I don't feel like, I don't care if I'm, make it happen. If you can't do it at 6 in the morning one day, do it before you go to sleep. Okay, before you go to sleep is when it counts. So if it's 1 o'clock and you get home and you're like, I'm not gonna write it off today. No, do it then. And here's the way that works. If you're doing 75 Hard, you get 74 days perfect, and on that last day you skip, you start again at day number 1. Okay, so there's a motivator too. And the only person you cheat is you cheat yourself if you don't do it the right way. Anyway, folks, Andy Frisella, he's got a great podcast. He's got, I think, a YouTube and things of that nature. And we'll go over that a little bit later. Thank you, folks.